Hi, everybody. Just so you guys know, as everybody's signing in, it's going to automatically mute you or and video you guys. So if you need to chime in, you have the chat, or you can unmute yourself for just a second. There we go. Perfect. Heather. Yay. Okay. Valerie, Sherry, Rhonda. Who else did I just see come in? Oh, hey, Liz. Heather. Cool. Okay. Hi, Jessica. I saw you come in. So you guys don't really need anything for class. We are gonna though be doing a lot of like standing work. So if balance is a worry for you, maybe have like a chair or something close by. I'm gonna use the wall every so often, but you know, it's not necessary. But other than that, you don't need a thing. There we go. Cheryl. There we go. Hi, Cheryl. Saw somebody else just go. Awesome. So we have about 5 more minutes till we're going to start, of course. But if you didn't hear my little spiel before, you don't need any props or anything unless you're worried about balance. Maybe having a chair or something close by or being near a wall might be helpful. Not that we're going to be doing anything dangerous or anything, but you will be, maybe balancing on one foot at one point, and it might be nice to have something to hold on to. But other than that, you don't need anything. Hi, everybody that's just coming in. Welcome, welcome. Yay, here comes everybody right at the last minute. I love it. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Julie. Hey, Elena. Kathy, I do. I think I'm gonna do a Saturday class, Kathy, eventually. Julie, just so you know. That used to be my mat day, right? Mat classes are my jam. Just don't get to teach them very much anymore. All right. I just came in. Oh, hey, Jeanette. Oh, I miss all you guys. Hey, Heather. Okay. Hey. All right, everybody. And awesome. Okay, cool. We are going to get started in just a minute or so in case anyone is going to log on last minute. You don't need any equipment or anything unless you feel like we are going to be doing some standing work. So if balance is an issue for you, you're welcome to grab maybe a chair or do this close to like a wall or piece of furniture or something that you have close by. Or if you have a foam roller, you can stand it up vertically and use that too. Because at some point we are going to be standing on one foot. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. Okay, so everyone's going to be on mute for the call, but if something happens and you lose like a signal from me or you can't hear me all of a sudden, please someone just unmute and just call me out so I can come over and get that fixed. If you have any type of injury or limitation going on with your body, I want you to take that into account today, especially because it's Monday. I don't know what you guys have been doing all week long. For my osteoporosis friends and my friends with the disc issues, such as a herniation or a bulge or something of that nature, we are going to be doing some rolling and some flexing of the spine today. So be sure if you know your modifications for that, staying in neutral spine, that's great. And if you want to sit out on those exercises instead, anything else that we have already done in class, you're welcome to go back to. I unfortunately can't see everybody, so I can't give you those types of corrections, but I'll try to mention some things as we go along that might help you in terms of modifications if you need any. So with that being said, we are going to start standing. So make sure that you have space cleared from around you. We want to have something close by, like I said, if you feel like you're going to need to balance, because at some point we are going to do some standing stuff like this. But you are welcome to do it without it. And that'd be kind of nice to practice your balance without it. So stand up and find a comfortable place. We're going to start just like we would any other Pilates class, breathing, warming up, moving the spine in all directions, and then we'll get into all the standing work. We're going to finish, though, on the mat. So we're kind of going in the opposite order that we normally go in Pilates. And then that'll be it. So stand where you're comfortable in a nice parallel position with your feet. Just open as wide as feels good for you to start. And I want you to bring your hands onto your rib cage because we're going to start with some breathing. I want us to get connected into our breath and start to get connected into the core. So take a nice big inhale. Eyes can be opened or closed, whatever feels best for you. Just let those ribs kind of expand as you inhale. Feel your chest open. And as you exhale, feel the ribs start to soften and close in towards each other, but keep your chest open and proud, like you're wearing a diamond necklace or a bow tie. Inhale to open up the ribs slightly. And then exhale to draw the ribs in towards each other, scooping your belly. Try to imagine you're tucking your belly underneath of your ribs. Let's take a couple more breaths like that, but try not to let the ribs stick out too much. Try to keep them nice and soft and knitted together as you inhale. And as you exhale, pull the tummy in. Maybe roll the shoulders back a few times. Take any tension out of your neck. Maybe wiggle around, get any tension out of the lower body if you need to. And take 2 more breaths just like this, but the last 2 we're going to take progressively. So inhale all the way into your lungs. And then take 10 counts to empty them out for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do it again. Take a nice big inhale. Fill up those lungs all the way. And then 10 slow counts, and as you count yourself down, draw the ribs together, pull that belly in, try to relax the shoulders a little bit, soften the knees, don't hold too much tension in the lower body. And then let your arms on your last breath just kind of come and dangle by your side. From here, I want you to find a parallel position, but soften the knees so that you're in a little bit more of a head over shoulder over hip position. And we're gonna do like a pelvic rock. So just like we would in the mat, I want you to curl your pelvis like a bad dog right underneath of yourself. And then let your pelvis go back the other direction, arching that back slightly. Inhale to curl the pelvis forward, and then exhale to tip it back. Now, as you're doing this, if you can see yourself on your screen, it's kind of nice if you don't have a mirror. I want you to make sure that your shoulders are not moving, your ribs are not moving, your head, your knees, nothing is moving but that pelvis. Because when we do standing work, we don't have a mat or anything to give us this the feedback of what's happening with the pelvis. So I want you to really take into account how it feels now. On the last little rock here, I want you to settle your butt right in the middle of those two places, as though we had a neutral spine on the reformer. A slight little space in that lower back, but don't stick that tail out. Aim the tailbone straight down. From here, we're actually going to take those hips side to side. So I want you to just hike one hip up, and then the other, and then the other. And try not to bend the knees too much. They're going to slightly shift, but I want you to keep those feet and knees as steady as you can. And notice that as you do this, you're bringing your hip closer to one rib, and then you're bringing your other hip closer to one rib. Remembering what that feels like with the pelvis, because it's going to try to shift this way as we start to move through the exercises as well. Find a middle position here, keeping that pelvis nice and neutral, just like you were lying down on the reformer. From here, if you can straighten those legs, just stand up nice and tall. We're going to take it into toe taps. Bring those hands right onto your pubic bone, make a triangle, and bring those hands right there onto the pubic bone with your thumb close to your belly button. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, draw one knee in towards your chest. You're going to take a little balance check here, and then place that foot right back down. Notice if your triangle shifted side to side or forwards or backwards. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, pull the knee up in towards the chest, and then place that foot right back down. So toe tapping standing is the same pulling in and up of those abs. You want to keep that lower tummy pulling in away from those thighs as they come up towards you, not letting the pelvis shift. If you can see yourself in the mirror or in your screen, notice if your triangle is going side to side as you're moving those legs. Keeping the feet a little bit closer together now rather than going out more side to side. Try to draw one thigh right past the other. Try not to let your upper body even rock side to side. Use your screen if you need to. Let's go about 5 more seconds here. And for 4, and for 3, and for 2. On 1, stop one leg up in towards the chest. Let those arms just hang and just find your balance if you can. Just play for a moment. Maybe this is hard, maybe this is easy. And then start to pull that knee a little bit closer into the chest for 8, and 7. Scoop that belly, 6, and 5. Try to relax those shoulders, 4, and 3, and 2. Pull the tummy in on 1, place the foot down, do the other side, bring the knee up. Try not to let the hips go side to side, and then up and up, pulling in from the tummy. Now, because we're working against gravity different than we normally do, you're not going to feel your abs the same quite way, but I want you to try to still pull them in to initiate this motion for 3, and 2, and 1. Place the foot back down. Take a nice wide stance in a parallel position that feels good for you, and let's talk about the upper body now. Shoulder isolation. So bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and then down and away. Take a big inhale to elevate your shoulders, and exhale to lower them down. This time the lower body is staying nice and steady. The ribs are staying knitted together. Nothing is moving in the head at all. Let's go 3 more here, elevation and depression. Just let the rest of the arm hang out of that shoulder socket. 1 more here, pull those shoulders down the back, and then reach your arms out in front of you like a zombie. From here, we're gonna do protraction, retraction. So round the shoulders forward, and then squeeze the shoulders together. Inhale, protract the shoulders, and exhale, retract. Common things that wanna happen here, your head's gonna wanna move, or your ribs are gonna wanna come out. So notice in your screen if anything else is happening, and try to keep it nice and steady. Let's go for 3 more here. Exhale as you pull the shoulders together for 2. And on 1, pull those shoulders back and down, and then let the arms come down by your side. Sweep them a little back behind you and circle them up and around. Let's take some nice big circles. Inhale to start your circle, exhale to finish. And while you're doing these circles, try to keep those shoulders from elevating. Keep them down and away from your ears as best you can. Just oiling up the shoulder girdle here. Let's go for 3 more circles. And for 2, and then we're gonna reverse directions. And on 1, reverse those circles. As you reverse those circles, when we go in this direction with those arms, the ribs are gonna try to flare out. So try to keep the tummy pulled in tight. Maybe your arm circles actually have to be smaller to accommodate the core. Let's go for 3. Inhale, start, exhale to circle. And 2. And last one here, bring those arms back and down with a nice open chest. Let's work the head a little bit and turn your ear to your right shoulder and then come back center. And then left ear to left shoulder and come back center. Inhale to go over and exhale to come up. Inhale over and exhale up. Simple movement, but we rarely move our head like this. We're used to going forwards and backwards, especially if you've been sitting at your computer screen working at home a lot. From here, I want you to stop the head in the center, and this time we're gonna go forwards and backwards. So reach the chin forward, and then pull the chin back. Reach the chin forward, pull the chin back. When you reach the chin forward, that's what you look like when you're at your computer. So try to pull the chin back and feel the back of the neck get long. Let's go 3 more here. Push that chin out and pull it back. For 2, try not to let the shoulders or anything else move. And for 1, we're gonna circle to the right, down around to the left, and right back up. To the left, inhale, exhale, circle around to the right, and come back up. 1 more each direction, letting our head just be nice and heavy. And last one here, over to the opposite side and come all the way back and up. Starting to move our spine now. I want you to just let your arms hang heavy. Take a big inhale, soften the knees, and exhale. Start to roll the spine down just halfway. Feel as though you're scooping that belly in like you just did a head curl away from the floor. Roll the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, straighten the legs and sweep the arms back behind you. We're now in extension, like we would be doing a swan. Lean back. Inhale, bring the arms down, and exhale. Flex the spine forward, let the head hang, shake it a little bit, get the tension out. And then scoop the belly, roll the spine up, sweep the arms back, and find a nice extension across your chest. 1 more here, soften those knees if you need to protect your lower back, but straight legs is okay. This time, make some slappy circles with those arms. Let them fall out of your shoulder girdle. And let everything hang heavy. Scoop the belly, come up, reach the arms back, find extension. Maybe lean back a tiny bit more, shine your heart to the ceiling. And then come all the way back up nice and tall. Arms go out to the side. Take 1 arm down and 1 arm up for a big lateral flexion. Try to slide your hand down your thigh as you look up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come up, and then exhale, go in the opposite direction. Continue like this, inhaling through the center, and then exhaling to the side. Try to really open up your ribs towards the ceiling and the sky as you bend. And then the opposite side of the body, you're really pulling in. Your rib is coming close to your hip. And up. Let's do 1 more to each side. Try not to look down, straight ahead or up towards the ceiling. Last one here over. I'd come all the way back up for rotation. Just let the arms hang heavy. Twist to the right and hold for a second. Just don't try to square your hips, but notice, maybe even look down, if 1 foot and 1 arch is coming off the floor. That means your hips have twisted. Try to square them, but keep looking to the back. Come back center, twist and look to the left. Whoop, now my left arch is trying to lift. Let me get my feet flat, my hips square, but I'm still rotated in my upper body. And continue, bring the arms out and twist and come center and twist. Inhale, center, exhale to twist for 3 and for 2 and for 1 and come all the way back center. We're gonna try to test the balance out a little bit. So if you feel like you wanna bring yourself close to your wall or your support, that is totally fine. What I want you to do is stand up nice and tall and take your hands onto your hips. Take it back into toe taps for me, but let's kind of speed it up a little bit, maybe adding a little bit of not cardio necessarily, but a little more heat generated in that body. But I still want you to try to pull the tummy in and notice as you're doing these, if your hips are rocking side to side, and try to keep them nice and steady. Let's go for 5 more seconds here. When I say 1, you're gonna stop the right knee in towards your chest for 3 and 2. On 1, stop the right knee into your chest and hold. From here, reach back and find a lunge and just let that right heel go to the floor. Look to your right toes and make sure they're square. That's going to keep your hips square. And feel a nice stretch through the back of that right leg. Try to lift up onto the back toes and then lower the back heels down. And lift and lower. A little stretch for that calf, but if you want to test out your balance, maybe lift the foot for a moment and put it back down. Let's go for 3 more, whichever variation you would like, and for 2, and for 1, and lower down to rest. Reach the arms forward and then lower down towards the floor. Can you touch your fingertips towards it? Feel the left butt cheek lengthening here. And then come all the way up and lean back. And then bend forward, feel that left glute engage. And come all the way up. 1 more here, inhale, reach down. And as you exhale, come up, find a big stretch through the front of those hips. And then come all the way back, standing forward, hands back onto the hips, start back into toe taps. Inhale and exhale as it feels good for you. Get that heat back up in that body. Make sure those hips are not rocking, scooping the belly from the thighs. For 5, left knee to the chest on 1 this time. For 3, and 2, and 1, left knee up, reach it back and find your lunge. Look at that back foot and make sure it's square. If it's turned out, you're not gonna have square hips. And then start to lift and lower that back heel. And lift
and lower. So you're starting to challenge your balance here, but you're also getting a nice stretch through the back of that left Achilles and calf. From here, you can add that little challenge, and as you come up, lift the leg and test your balance out more. Woo, one side's harder than the other. And come up and out. Let's go 3 more, whichever variation you would like. And for 2. And for 1, take it back and hold, arms reach forward. Just lower down and try and touch your fingertips to the floor. Feel the the right glute this time engaging, and then come all the way up. Lean back, stretch the front hip, and then lower down, feel the right glute. And come up, feel the left hip. Let's do 2 more just like this. Again, we're testing out that balance, starting to wake up the body a little bit. Last one here, inhale down. And exhale to come up and come all the way back and standing. Good. Bring your feet into Pilates stance. Take a moment, bring those hands back onto the ribs. And let's recenter with a little breathing. Closing the eyes or opening. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, draw the ribs together, pull the belly in, roll the shoulders back. A couple more breaths like that. If you want to add a little bit of challenge, inhale as you lift the heels. And exhale as you lower. Starting again to test out the balance. Keep something close by if you need to. Let's do 2 more, inhale. And exhale. 1 more here, inhale up. And exhale, lower those heels and rest. We're gonna take it into the standing 100. Leave your feet in Pilates stance for me. Let those arms just hang heavy for a moment. Line up those thumbs with the side of your thighs, because the first half of our 100, we're gonna do like chest expansion. So from here, keep your body nice and straight. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the arms back behind you until you feel the tricep lengthen and engage, and then start to pump back, 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 back. Now as you're pumping back, inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. If you can watch yourself in the screen, try not to let your hands do anything funny. Try to pump from the triceps. Try to keep the shoulders drawing back and together. If you want to add challenge, lift your heels up off the floor and do the same thing. For 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Hold it on 1, heels can stay up or down. Reach the arms forward, and let's do the second half of the 100 in a head curl. Scoop the belly and round only as far forward as you can keep your balance, scooping that belly in and pump here. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arms are still pumping from the triceps, you're just in a flex spine. Heels can be lifted or lowered, but try to draw the inner thighs and the pelvic floor in and up. 2 more breaths here, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look to the toes, 1 more breath, in for 5. Exhale, out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Round the body forward for a quick stretch, bend the knees. Take a big inhale here, and exhale, roll your spine all the way up. For standing single leg circle, this might be where you want to start to add in your prop for balance. If not, just bring your hands onto the hips. We're going to start with the left leg first. Reach your left toes just out in front of you onto the floor. Try to keep your right leg nice and steady underneath of you, and just practice lowering and lifting to start. Okay? And if you need to, grab onto something, give yourself a little bit of help. We're eventually going to take this into a circle motion, but I don't want your hips to rock. Come up, out, tap the floor, and in. Make like a box. Come up, out to the side of the mat, tap the side of the mat, find the center. Up, out, down, and in. Now make it smooth and smooth. Now try not to rock those hips, try not to rock those shoulders. Make it small. It can be slow to the floor. And reverse the circle. If you want to take it back to that square shape, go right ahead. Otherwise, just circle it around for 4 and 3. Ooh, where'd my wall go? And 2 and 1, and come down. Let's do the other side. Bring the right toes forward of you. Keep the left foot nice and steady on the mat, and just start to lower and lift. Try to keep the leg as parallel as you can, but external rotation is totally fine. And if you need something for balance, go right ahead. Let's go 3 more here before we start to take it to circle for 2. On 1, come up, go out, tap down, and center. Come up, open, down, and center. Don't go any wider than your mat space. And try to keep that leg in line with the hip instead of crossing it too much over the midline today. And then start to circle it around instead. And around. You can keep it small and low. I just don't want you to rock side to side. Test your balance if you can for 3 and 2. Reverse it on 1. Continue to keep the circle smooth if you can, otherwise take it back to your square shape. You can even just go back to the taps if this is a hard side for you to balance. Soften the standing leg if you're feeling something there you don't like for 3. And 2, scoop that belly. And 1, and lower down. Open your feet out as wide as feels good for you. Stay in a nice parallel position. Imagine the outside edges of your feet are pressed up against walls. From here, bring the hands onto the hips. And let's take a nice big rotation to the right. Noticing that the left hip is going to try to come forward. So pull the left hip back, but try to shine your heart to the right. Come center, and then twist to the other side. And center. And as you're doing this, try not to let your hips rock in your hands. The other thing that likes to happen here is the butt starts to stick out. So try to keep that tailbone aimed straight underneath of you like we did for our warm-up. Let's go a couple more here. Sending the arms now out to the side. We are eventually going to take this into the saw. So if this does not feel good for you, you can just continue with spine twist. From here, I want you to twist over to your right. Your right hand is behind you. Your left hand is in front. Reach your left pinky finger to your right pinky toe and look back to your right hand. Put more weight into your left foot and come all the way up. And untwist. And twist to the left. Right pinky finger to the left pinky toe. Put more weight into the right foot as you look to the left hand. And come all the way up. Inhale, twist. Exhale, dive. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, down. Exhale. Just move every breath, or every piece of this exercise has a breath. But try to keep your feet even in weight. As you go forward into that bend, try to scoop the ribs away from the hips. Let's go for 1 more to each side. And 1 more to the left. And come all the way up. And take a rest. Going up, standing next to your wall if you need to. We're going to do some side standing work. Just like we would when we're lying on the mat, I want you to make sure that you are as flat and flush as you can. You can even do this backed up against the wall instead. But I don't want you to do this exercise with your butt sticking out behind you. So try to line yourself up nice and parallel with your whole body. From here, take your left leg, sorry, we're going to start with the left leg, I should tell you that, out to the side and come right back in. So just like we would do this on the mat, I do not want the hips to rock. You can test out your balance at any time by bringing the hands to the hips. If you want to get frisky, bring the hands behind the head or arms up towards the ceiling, just like we do on the mat, offering some progressions. From here, on the standing side, if you're not a fan of what you're feeling, soften the knee. Maybe get a little bit lower to the floor. Your standing leg is working as much as your moving leg. Let's go 3 more. Keep it in a parallel position. 2 more. Really squeeze the leg in. 1 more here. Bring it all the way in. And then halfway out to hold. Start to bring the leg forward and back. And forward. So just like we would on the mat, but instead of keeping the leg parallel to the hip, we're just a little out to the side. Can you test out your balance? I don't want you to be leaning like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I want you to be standing straight up. Let's go for 3 more just like this. And for 2, as parallel as you can. And for 1, bring that leg about halfway forward and externally rotate. The frog in and out. And in. And out. Notice that as my knee comes towards my shoulder, it stops just short of getting there because I don't want to move those hips. Let's go for 4 more here. Push the leg away for 3. And for 2. Ooh, my balance is not good today. And for 1. And lower it on and down. We're going to make some nice big circles. Kick that leg forward. Open. Back. And down. Forward. Open. Back. And down, toes face the ceiling, toes face me, toes face the floor, then you tap, make it smooth for 3. And 2, try not to move that upper body. And 1, let's reverse, go back, open, forward and down. Soften that standing leg if you're feeling anything there on the side of that body that you're not a fan of. For 2 more. And for 1. And bring it all the way down to rest. You should actually feel both of those glutes working a little bit differently though. Turn to face whatever your prop is that's helping you for your balance. Or if you don't have one, just stand with your hands on your hips. The same leg, left leg that we were just moving, is now going to move behind us. Push your hands onto whatever you're holding on to if that's available. If not, just hands on the hips. And from here, reach your your left leg back behind you, softening the knee of the right leg. From here, start to lift that leg up and down. Finding right where your butt and your thigh meet. There's a little bit of a crease, a little catch there that I want you to find. I want you to try to keep the foot pointed. And again, the right knee is nice and soft. Now roll those shoulders back. Try to keep that pelvis from rocking. If you want to, you can always bring those hands right back onto that pelvis. And as you're doing this exercise, if you have good balance, that's actually going to help you notice what your pelvis is doing. Let's go for 4 more here. And for 3. And for 2. On 1, lift it halfway up. Try to bring it out to the side of the mat and right back in. And out to the side and right back in. Try to keep the weight even on your hands if you're pushing onto something, and try to keep that right leg, again, nice and soft. Let's go for 3 more just like that. And for 2. And for 1, bring the leg back behind you and tap the toe to take a rest. From here, we're going to take this leg into what we call single leg kick. I want you to point your toe and you're going to kick your butt. 1, 2, and flex the foot to stretch. Point, kick, and flex to stretch. The stretching is where the work is. I'm squeezing where the butt and thigh meet. I'm pushing my heel away from me and exaggerating the length of my leg. When I go to kick my butt, do not let the pelvis rock. For 4, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1, and come down. Stand on your left leg, cross the right ankle over, and sit back. You can do this lying down on the floor if you want to take a rest. You can do this seated if you want to have a seat. Or just stand with whatever prop you're holding and take a little stretch. Okay. You know the bad news about side standing. We have the other side. All right. Come over here now. Okay, so stand with those feet back together. Find your other side. If you're going to stay facing me, you might have to move your prop around, or you can just turn around and listen to my words. Bring that hand onto the prop if you have it, or onto the hips, but do not lean. I want you to try to stay lifted up nice and tall. Put the left foot heavy onto the floor and let your right leg start to lift and lower out to the side. Noticing that one leg is going to have a little more range of motion than the other. That's natural. We usually favor one hip and one glute more than the other. Soften the standing leg here if you need to. When we go to face forward, we will all soften the standing leg. Right leg is staying nice and parallel as it lowers its lifts. And here, I want the work to happen on the in. I want you to really resist gravity. Test out your balance when you feel like you can for 4. And for 3. And for 2. And on 1, bring it all the way out, about half-ish way, to kick forward and back. Forward and back. And forward. Try to stay as parallel as you can. Oh, this is my hard side. And again, try not to lean. Try to stay lifted up tall and proud. Hands can always come to that those pubic bones to make sure that you're not rocking. Let's go for 4 more. And for 3. And for 2. And for 1, bring the leg back, take a quick rest. Lift it back up and externally rotate. Make sure the standing leg is soft if you need to. In and out for frog. Try to think knee to the shoulder, but only as much as I can without rocking my right side to my right knee. Let's go for 4 more. Push the heel away. And for 3, get taller as you push. For 2 more, heavy boulder, move it away. 1 more here, push out and lower down, take a rest. Let's make big circles. Standing up as tall as you can, sweep your leg forward, out, around, and down. Let's go flex the foot we did on the other side. Toes to the ceiling, toes forward, toes back, and down. Now, if it feels good to just take it nice and smooth, okay, continue, or broken down, continue that. Otherwise, make it nice and smooth. Just like single leg circle, but we're doing it out to the side instead of in front of us. Is your pelvis rocking? Test your balance. 1 more here, and we reverse. Toes to the floor, toes forward, toes to the ceiling, and down. Toes face down, toes face me, toes face the ceiling. Can you make it smooth? Let's go for 4 more here, getting a little taller with each circle around. And for 1, bring that leg all the way down and take a rest. Turning to face whatever your prop is, if you have that. If not, hands on the hips or whatever you did on the other side is good. Pressing the hands evenly, but not too much. I don't want you to use it like a push-up. Send the right leg back behind you. Let the toes rest on the floor. Everybody soften the left knee so you feel that left glute start to engage. From here, start to lift and lower that right leg. FYI, you're gonna get a lot of glute work today. It's our glutes that are really helping to hold us up. They're the biggest muscles around the biggest bones of our body, super important. As you're doing this, try not to let that pelvis or the shoulders rock forwards and backwards. Try to keep that little squeeze where the butt and the thigh meet, and keep the toes as parallel as available for you. Are your hands nice and even for 4 more? And 3. Soften the left knee. Lift the right leg and hold. Let's go out to the side and back behind us. Here's where your upper body is going to start to move a little bit more. Try to keep your your hands even on whatever you happen to be holding on to. If your hands are onto the hips, just keep your hips nice and steady. Let's go for 3 more. And for 2. On 1, bring it back behind you and tap the toe to take a rest. Hands are back onto your prop if you need to, taking it into single leg kick choreography. This exercise is actually done on your belly on the floor. You're gonna point your foot and go kick, kick, flex, and push the heel away. You should feel that whole back of the hamstring engage. Kick, kick, point, flex to lengthen. Kick, kick, point, flex to lengthen. If you can, keep that knee behind the other knee, which should be soft. Ooh, give myself a correction there. Let's go for 4 more. And for 3. And for 2. And for 1, reach it back and lower it down to stretch. Stand on the right foot, cross the left ankle over, and sit on back. You can sit down if you need to, lie on your mat, whatever feels good here. But you should feel that left glute, which was your standing one, working, if not more, as much as your right. Whew. Good job, everybody. Okay, so we're gonna start to take this into a little bit more of some flexion exercises. So if you feel like rounding your spine is not in your practice today, it's gonna be a little more intense than just this halfway stuff that we did before. You can just do what we call like a flat back hinge instead, and that's your option. But otherwise, we're all gonna start with a roll down, which is basically the same thing as lying flat on the mat and rolling up. So set your arms up towards the ceiling and bring your feet right underneath of your hips. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, you can soften the knees if you need to. Scoop the belly and aim the crown of the head to the toes. And scoop that belly and try to keep your biceps right by your ears. Let your head hang heavy. You should be able to see your knees. Scoop the belly and roll up, 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 up. Arms stay by the ears. Inhale at the top. Take a big exhale, scoop the belly, dive forward. Shoulders away from the ears. Try to keep your weights a little bit to the balls of your feet so your butt is not behind your heels too much. If you're hinging, you might have to do that, and roll all the way up. Arms go back up towards the ceiling. Let's do 2 more just like this, then we'll take this into what we call neck pull. Neck pull is a pretty advanced exercise done on the mat, but it's not too bad if you're standing actually. And roll all the way back up. Last one here, scoop the belly, roll all the way down. This time, hang out there. Let your head be heavy, let your arms be heavy, soften the knees, and just take a couple breaths. And as you feel those exhales going out of you, feel your belly scooping in deeper to you. For 3, and for 2, and for 1, roll all the way on and up. Good. You can continue with that, otherwise we're gonna take that in choreography, or add choreography, I should say, and take it into the neck pull. Hands come behind the head. Imagine you were lying on the floor doing this exercise. Feet fist distance or wider. From here, let your elbows fold in around your face and scoop your belly to roll down. I want you to aim your elbows towards the outside of your knees and hold it there. From here, keep your pelvis nice and steady and lift to a flat back. And try to have a nice flat back as your elbows open out to the side. From here, scoop the belly with a flat back, lift up nice and tall. And then do it again. Elbows fold in, scoop the belly to roll down, aim the elbows to the outside of the knees, look between the knees and hold. Elbows open wide, the spine lengthens, and then lift up nice and tall, back to where you started. Let's do 2 more. Elbows fold in, inhale, exhale, dive forward, aim the crown of the head to the floor. Once you get down there, look between the knees. And then lengthen out to a flat spine and lift up nice and tall. Let's do 1 more like this, focusing on not letting our butt go back. And elbows in, roll down. Keep the weight towards the balls of the feet. It's hard. Lengthen the spine. Try to keep the weight to the balls of the feet. And then lift up nice and tall to come back to where we started. Very good job. Stay facing whatever way You are, because we're now going to take that roll down into planking. Yeah, your favorite. Feet nice and parallel for me. They're going to stay there on the mat. Arms go up towards the ceiling. Nice big inhale. And exhale, roll down, 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 down. Soften the knees till the hands hit the mat. And then walk on out. From here, you can keep your hands right under your shoulders. You can just drop to the knees, but keep your upper body in a nice angled position. Or if you want to go to those forearms, just make sure they're nice and parallel. I don't want you to hold your own hands. Open them out towards the edges of your mat. Whatever plank you want to find, hold it there. And just breathe for a moment. Pushing down into the floor, hold up your house. Hold up your apartment, whatever you're in. Reach the heels away from the crown of the head. And imagine you were standing. Engage the glutes. Remember when we did single leg kick and I said push your leg away from you and feel the hamstring engage? Do that here. Now scoop the belly in a little deeper like I'm sucker punching you from the floor. And hold for 3. Keep breathing. I need a break. And for 2. And for 1. Hike those hips on up. And walk those hands back in. Hang heavy at the bottom of your roll down. And then stack your spine and come all the way back up. You know I never do just one. So here we go again. Arms go up. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Roll down, 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 down. And walk out to find your plank. Once you're in that plank, we're going to take it into single leg stretch. So I want you to start to pull one knee in towards the chest. But I want you to think about single leg stretch when we lie on our back. We scoop the belly and we pull the knee to the nose. Don't let your nose go to your knee. The tendency is you guys are going to take your butts back. This is arm work. I need you to be forward, scoop the belly, bring the knees to you. Reach the heel away from the crown of the head. As you lengthen back to your plank, remember it's called single leg stretch. Hold up the earth and scoop the belly for 5. And 4, and 3, and 2. Hold your plank on 1, hike those hips up, take a quick stretch. And start to walk your hands in towards your feet and hang out there for a second. Let your head nod a little yes and no. Let the arms make some sloppy circles. And then scoop your belly roll all the way up, 1 vertebrae at a time. You know I don't do just 2, so here we go again. We're gonna take it into good old-fashioned leg pull front. Arms go up towards the ceiling. You roll the spine all the way down. Maybe just take 3 steps with your hands to find plank this time. 1, 2, 3. And once you're there, hold. From here, do not let your butt lift. The tendency is you guys like to lift and lower. I want you to lift your right foot off and go back and forth with a flat spine. 2 times, and then put the foot back down. Lift the left leg forward, back, and down. Remember when we warmed up and we did all those heel lifts and lowers and all those stretches for the back of the leg? You're moving your foot in the same way here. Keep your gaze between your hands, belly pulls in and up. 5 more seconds here to finish even for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and pike those hips on up, and walk your hands in towards your feet, and roll all the way up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Okay, so I've missed you guys so much. I want to see 1 more. This time we're going to roll down. We're going to stay there for a push-up, and then we'll actually finish on the floor. So last time I promise, if you're going to do this on your forearms, just hold plank. Arms up, you roll down. Once you walk out and find your plank, I just want you to hold it there. When we do Pilates push-ups, the elbows come in towards our sides. You can start doing push-ups when and if you feel ready. Otherwise, any of the last planks we did are fine. Otherwise, just hold it there. And we're going to go for 4 more seconds here. And for 3. And for 2. And on 1, let the knees lower down and find child's pose. Good job. Open the knees out to the edges of the mat if you can. Let your toes come to touch. And just reach your arms out nice and long in front of you. Scoop that belly in and just gaze towards the floor. And then let's take a stretch to the right side of the mat. So reach the arms to the right. Let the head hang heavy. But see if you can push your left butt cheek closer to your left heel. And just sink into the stretch a little bit. We're going to get into the little stretchy part of our class now. If it feels good, look under one armpit or the other. Whichever one it felt better to look under, keep your gaze there. For 3, scoop your belly from your thighs. For 2. And for 1, walk back into the center. If you need a rest for your knees, come up for a moment. And then take it right back down and go to the other side. So left side we're reaching towards. Push that right butt cheek down. Look to the floor and hang out there. Scoop the belly from the thighs and try to notice if one side feels so much different than the other. Notice what it feels like to have started standing and now make your way to the mat. Should feel pretty good, by the way. Good. Look under one armpit and then the other. Decide what you like better and hold your gaze there for 3. And for 2. And for 1, walk all the way back center. Take a big inhale and exhale. Start to roll your spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. We're going to do a little bit of work kneeling. So if you have sensitive knees, I want you to grab a pillow or something or fold up your mat a little bit. Or if you have carpet, maybe move onto the carpet or something. If you don't, you can just kneel on your mat, however feels good for thigh stretch. Coming onto the knees, you have a couple options with your feet. You can leave your toes flat onto the mat, much like mine. Or if you feel like it's a little bit hard for you to balance that way, once we get into the exercise, curl your toes instead. It makes like a nice kickstand. From here, you're going to reach your arms out in front of you. And remember when we did our warm-up, we talked about head over shoulders over hips? That's what I want you to be. So use your screen right now as the second Pilates teacher in the room. Don't let your butt sit back. Curl it underneath of you. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lean back. And exhale to come up. And inhale to lean back. And exhale to come up. When you lean back, your glutes engage. You should feel a stretch in front of your thigh. We call it thigh stretch for a reason. If you feel like when you're coming all the way back up to bring your head over your shoulders, if your feet start to lift, you probably did it correctly, but try not to let that happen. From here, we're going to add on a little bit. The arms press back for chest expansion. And then we come forward. And we press back. And we come forward. Yes, we're working, but you should feel a stretch in the front of your hips. For 2 more. And 1. While you're back here, if you can hold and grab your ankles, take a little extra stretch. If not, just come all the way back up. If you're taking the stretch, look straight ahead. 1 arm forward, then the other. Come all the way back up and take a moment. You're going to stay on the knees if you can. If you need a break, come up and shake them out. We're going to do a little side kneeling kick. It's similar to what we did standing, but I want you to notice how it feels different for your core when we're working against gravity. So line up your knees right under your hips and send your arms out to the side. Be careful, but as you start to bring your left hand to the floor, kick your right leg out to the side and bring your right hand behind your head. The left foot is trying to hide behind your left knee. Your right leg is parallel, but don't let your butt sit back. Everybody likes to do side kneeling kick like this. I want you to do side kneeling kick like this. So if you need a modification, back your booty up against the wall and start to swing that leg forward and back. Forward and back. It's harder to know where your pelvis is in space here. Press down with that left foot behind you to help you push your pelvis forward. And then gaze straight ahead. Hand either behind the head or on the top hip. Let's go for 4 more kicks. And for 3. And for 2. And for 1, bring the leg back down. Let it rest on the floor for a moment. From here, take that arm up and over and get a nice big stretch. As you come back up, find side kneeling. Lift the leg and lift. And lift. And lift. So same type of exercise as we did before. We're just feeling the glutes and holding ourselves up from the core, slightly different. If you're feeling anything in the wrist, you can bring your forearm onto a prop or your couch next to you and just do it a little bit higher. Let's go for 4 more here. And 3. And 2. Point the foot and draw me small circles. Here's where, as you draw your circles, your booty is going to start moving forward and back. Keep it forward and just draw. And draw. Even if the leg is not in line with your hip, reach. And reach. Keep reaching to the other side of the room with the leg and reverse the circle for 8. And 7. Keep the butt forward. 4. Push the back foot down. 3. And 2. On 1, lower the leg. Take a nice big stretch. From here, see if you can pop yourself right up and stretch in the opposite direction. Good. Bringing the right knee down, arms out to the side. Let's do the other side. Okay? As one hand goes down, the opposite hand goes behind the head, and you kick the leg out all at the same time. Don't let your booty sit back. I want to see hearts and hips forward as you kick that leg forward and back. Inhale one direction, exhale the other. I don't really care how, as long as it's helping you to feel stable. Let's go for 6. And for 5, can you reach that leg across the room a little further? Pull it out of your hip socket, pretend I'm in your house. That'd be kind of fun, right? 1 more here, bring the leg back center and lift. And lift. Oh, I didn't give you a break. If you need it, lower down. And lift. And lift. Try to keep that leg as parallel as you can. Remember, you can come onto your forearm, onto something if your hand is starting to bother you. Or sometimes tenting the fingertips gives a little bit of a break for the wrist. Top hand behind the head or on the hip for 3. And 2. On 1, draw your circles. Reach. I want you to draw 1 circle, past the next one, past the next one, until you have drilled a hole in the wall across the room from you with your feet. Let's go for 3. And for 2, hips forward and reverse it on 1. Let's go 8 circles here. Try to keep that right foot back behind you on the floor. It's gonna help you to keep that glute engaged. I told you we're getting a lot of glute work today because that's what's gonna help hold you up and propel you. Plus I know you've been sitting a lot lately. Let's go for 3. And for 2. And for 1, lower down and stretch. Good, as you come up, leave the leg out and stretch in the opposite direction. Very good. All right, coming up, we're gonna take this right into mermaid, okay? If you can, sit in a Z sit, bringing your right shins in front of you. Come here, see guys. Oops, no, back here. Your right shins in front of you, parallel to the edge of the mat, and your left shins parallel to the edge of the mat over there. Hands are going out into a T because we're gonna flow in both directions to start. But I want you to notice that as your arms come out, what your hips are doing. So take a moment and just like we did in our warm-up, start to rock those hips side to side. Try not to let the upper body move too much, okay? Might slightly move a little, but keep it as steady as you can. And then find an in-between place where both of your butt cheeks are as close or onto the floor mat as possible. Now from here, do the same thing forwards and backwards. Rock forward and back, and forward, and back. I want you to notice that as you rock forward, the back arches, wrong, and as you roll back, you round, wrong. So now find, with both of your butt bones still on the mat, right an in-between spot where you're nice and long, okay? Put your hand right there if you need to. Arms go out to the side. Let's go to the right first. Right hand on the floor, left arm up and over for mermaid. Exhale while you're there. Take a nice big inhale, come up into the center, left hand to the floor, right arm up, look to the ceiling. And inhale through the center, and exhale up and over. I want you to continue to flow like this. Taking an inhale in the center and using your exhale to really push the ribs open and away from each other. Inhale and exhale, and then notice what's happening with your pelvis. Even if you want to put your triangle back on and try to figure out what's going on without the stretch part, just refine your form, you're welcome to do that. But try to keep both of your sits bones as heavy onto the mat as possible, even if it shortens your range of motion. On your last one here, take it to the right hand down, left arm up, bend the right elbow and sink as low into your own stretch as you can. Now your left arm lengthens out as long as possible. Bring the butt cheeks down and lift the chest, look to the ceiling. From here, I want you to rotate and touch your left hand to your right hand. Look between your arms. And then reach up towards the ceiling and lean back. Keep both butt cheeks down. And come forward, hand to hand. Look between the arms. And reach and twist towards the ceiling. Arm goes back, eyes follow the hand. Let's go for 3 more here. And open. Notice I'm staying in the lateral flexion as I rotate. In fact, I feel like I'm getting deeper into it. And then on your last one here, take a little stretch with an open chest. And then twist and bring both hands onto the mat. Line your hands up. One hand tends to want to be out a little further than the other. Line up the hands and give me some tricep push-ups. Down and up. Down and up. Let the left butt cheek slightly come up off the mat. Let's go for 3 more. And for 2. On 1, straighten the arms. Bring the right hand back into the center of the mat. Rotate and find one last mermaid stretch and anchor your butt cheeks to the mat. And then fan the arms over to the other side and take your oppositional stretch here. Shoulders down, chest more forward. Good. And come all the way up. Taking it into swan before we do the other side. So go ahead and lie on your bellies if that's comfortable for you. If not, any other stretch that you want to take here for a moment is fine. I want you to lie on your belly and bring your hands right underneath of your armpits for me. Feet are fist distance apart with the tops of your feet. Point them, push them into the mat, and keep them on the mat space. From here, imagine there's a marble in front of your nose, and I want you to roll it 2 inches. 1, 2. And then leave your eyes right where they are as you lift your chest from the floor. Inhale, and exhale, lower back down. And then roll the marble 2 inches, and lift the heart forward. Feel as though you're pulling the mat towards you. Engage your glutes and lift the tummy. And then lower all the way back and down. If you need modifications, take the hands out wider if you have tight shoulders. And come all the way down. You could do this on your forearms. Press up and come back down. Let's do a few more here. Try not to let your eyes look any higher than your collarbones. You're kind of still looking to the mat where you just rolled your marble. One more here, lift up, hold. Lift the belly, shoulders back. Look to the right, look to the left. Are your feet still pressing down? Look center, and lower all the way down to the mat. Very good job. Press yourself back into child's pose. Stretching out that lower back if you felt anything there in swan that it wasn't a fan of. If you want to take a slightly deeper stretch in the shoulders, you're welcome to bring your hips back up and walk your hands out further. I like to call it the kitty cat stretch. And try to rest your forehead and chest to the floor. If you don't like it, child's pose, don't do it. For 3, and 2, and 1. Press yourself up from whatever position you're in and come sit in your Z sit. Your left shin's in front of you, your right shin's out to the side. If not, just however is comfortable for you. Legs out front, doesn't even really matter. You can straddle the legs. Arms go out to the side. Let's rock your hippies, because one side is usually a little funkier than the other. One butt cheek usually has more space on the mat than the other one, so rock them back and forth. Try to keep the hips facing forward. For 3, and 2, and on 1, get both butt cheeks down, and then go forwards and backwards. Turn this way so you can see in forwards and backwards, letting the pelvis rock. Try to again keep both of those, I didn't have mine down, both of those butt cheeks on the mat. For 3, and for 2, and for 1, come back center, find your neutral, and let's take it into our mermaid flow, up and over to the left this time. Look up to the right arm, and come all the way up to the other side. Continue to flow as you inhale through the center, and use your exhale to open up the ribs to the sky. Inhale through the center and exhale up and over. Make sure that both butt cheeks are still pressing down. Create lots of space between one rib and one hip. Even though they're coming close together, don't sink to the floor. Be uppercase letter C. And up on the last one here, let's land over to the left. Right arm is up to the ceiling. Sink a little deeper into the stretch with both butt cheeks down and reach your top arm long. Try not to let it hang. Okay, a deeper stretch would be here. Shine both of your armpits forward. Take a big inhale, reach the right hand to the left, and then keep your body in lateral flexion as you twist to the ceiling. I never come up straight, okay? I'm always bent. And then twist right hand to the left, and open, eyes follow your hand. The hip is gonna try to lift on a twist, keep that right butt cheek down, and open the chest proud. Let's go 2 more here, twist. And open, last one here, when we twist, we're gonna hold it there. Bring both hands to the mat, line them up for triceps. Bend and extend. Bend and extend. Try to keep both butt cheeks down on the mat. Try to keep the heart proud for 3. And for 2. And for 1, straighten the arms. Left hand into the center of the mat. Right arm up and over. Find one last big mermaid stretch. Be like a rainbow with your top ribs. And then come all the way up and take your oppositional stretch to the right. Shine both of your armpits forward and look to the sky for 3, and 2, and 1. Come all the way on and up. I want you to turn and lie on your backs for me. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Notice how you might feel different landing on the mat instead of starting here. From here, keep your right leg up towards the ceiling, grab onto the right calf, extend the left leg out. Take a quick stretch through that right leg by pointing and flexing for 3, and 2. On 1, point the toes, curl up, and switch, switch, switch. If you want to give that leg a little pull, no big deal, just a light grip with those hands. Try to stop the leg a little more over the hip than letting it come too close to your face. Reach the legs away from you as they lower, and lift your heart to those thighs. If you want to challenge yourself, arms go up for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Left leg up, grab it, and lower down to stretch, point and flex. Point and flex. For 3, and 2. On 1, bring both legs up. Hands go behind the head. You can leave the head down for double leg lowers and lifts. Or if you want, curl the head up, and off you go. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. See if you can flex the lower and point to lift. Find Pilates stance if you feel anything in your hips or your backs you're not a fan of. Arms can always stay by the side if you need to, but do not let the back arch. Soften the knees or go to toe taps if you need to for 3. And for 2. And on 1. Lower all the way on and down. So for my friends who are not rollers, who do not roll forwards and backwards on the mat, you're just going to bring yourself up off the mat the best way that you can. However, if you are available to rock on whatever surface you have today, I want you to try to rock yourself up like rolling like a ball and stay there. So bring yourself up onto your sits bones, whoops, and balance holding onto your shins. Try to get your nose to your knees and your heels towards your seat. And then rock it up and rock it up. Whoop. Try not to let the feet touch. Try not to let the head touch. Try only to rock to the tips of the shoulder blades and then find the sits bones. We're going to go about 5 more seconds here. When I say 1, I want you to plant your feet on the floor and stand up for 3. And for 2. And on 1, feet down, arms up, and stand. Good. Facing the screen, let your arms hang nice and heavy. Turn the head or bend it to the right. And up. And left. And up. Turn it to the right. And center. Turn it to the left. And center. Arms reach forward, open the chest. Arms circle around, dive forward. Be sloppy. Arms come up, circle around, find extension. And then circle the arms around, find flexion, bend the knees, let everything hang. 1 more here, lift up, circle the arms around, and lift the chest. Last one here, take it as you roll down and hang like a ragdoll. Soften the knees, nod the head a little yes and no, and circle around your arms. From here, take a nice big inhale, keep the knees soft. And as you exhale, start to roll your spine up 1 vertebrae at a time until you are all the way back, standing like we started. Yay! Good job, guys. That was fun. So hopefully you learned a little bit about your balance today, how gravity affects it, and hopefully you feel your glutes later, because that's really what should be holding us up every day in our lives. So hopefully you do, and you'll think of me later. Take piriformis stretch if you need it throughout the day. Otherwise, miss you guys, love you guys. Have a good day. We'll leave the class open for a few minutes if anybody has questions.